Alright guys, the Azure update just got delayed, but there are still plenty of things Forsaken could be adding next, including a potential summer event, skin variants, and much more. Let's get into it! One of the biggest surprises recently is that the Azure update is no longer releasing this Friday. Forsaken made an announcement in their Discord explaining that they should have been clearer about the release date from the start. While a date appeared on the events page, it was only intended to be a rough estimate and was never meant to be the final release date. To avoid any more confusion going forward, they have now changed the placeholder date all the way to December 2099. They also confirmed that when the actual release date is ready, they will announce it at least 3 days in advance. The good news is that based on their comments, it sounds like they're simply wrapping things up rather than delaying the update indefinitely. The main reason many players believe the update was pushed back is because Azure still isn't fully balanced. According to testers, the character wasn't exactly playing, suggesting there are still some issues that need to be fixed before release. While some players are happy that the developers are taking extra time to polish the update, others would rather see it released immediately and balanced afterward. There has also been a lot of debate surrounding the communication. Some players argue that we should have read the description explaining the date wasn't final, while others believe Forsaken shouldn't have placed a placeholder date so close to release in the first place, especially since previous updates never handled announcements this way. For now, all we can do is wait. Hopefully the extra time means a smoother and more balanced release, and with how much content is coming in this update, let's just hope it arrives before GTA 6 does. There is still one potential event that many players feel Forsaken is missing, especially when so many other games already do it every year, which is a summer event. With the amount of skins and concepts being created by the community, there are already several ideas that could easily fit into a seasonal update, and one of the biggest fan favorites has to be Surfer V. This concept was originally created by 50 for Burgers and completely transforms V into a summer-themed sea creature. Instead of having a normal skateboard, she now uses a surfboard, and the design even gives her a large tail to fully embrace the ocean theme. Ever since the concept was revealed, players have been saying we need more skins like this. What makes the skin even more impressive is that it didn't stop as just concept art. It then was developed into a 3D model by Gunt, and the progress was incredible. The model quickly started looking almost identical to the original artwork, with even 50 for Burgers expressing surprise at how accurately the concept had been recreated. As development continued, the skin only became more polished, adding extra details that made it feel like something that could genuinely release in-game. The skin has already been shown with custom animations and even with V doing an emote. Isaac himself responded to the project, praising the work and pointing out how he made the 3D fit work onto the clothing so well with extra details. We have even seen surfing and spray can animations that already look release ready. At this point, the only thing really missing is some final polish and sound effects. However, V isn't the only character that could fit into a summer event. Another concept that players have wanted for a long time is Snorkel to Time. This skin gives to Time a snorkel, a rubber ducky accessory, and even a shark tooth dagger. Their second life form also receives additional details such as seaweed growing from their shoulders, helping sell the underwater theme even further. With concepts like these already being made, it's easy to imagine Forsaken creating a full summer event featuring beach-themed skins, just like the recent Spec Ops pack that was released. A lot of people also wanted to see a beach map released with this summer event that could potentially come if we do get these summer skins. Should Forsaken finally get a summer event? Another feature that many players have been discussing recently is the possibility of skin variants. With so many concepts being made for the same characters and multiple versions of certain designs already existing, skin variants feel like a natural addition that could give Forsaken a lot more customization without requiring entirely new skins every time. Isaac mentioned that if skin variants ever become a reality, some designs could potentially receive entire sets of alternate appearances. One example he brought up was Subject Zero, which could eventually have multiple visual designs for an entire skin set. Since the community is constantly creating new concepts, there is definitely no shortage of ideas that Forsaken could pull from. Many players have suggested making these variants unlockable through achievements or milestones. This would give people another reason to play specific killers and survivors while working towards unique skin variants, with some suggesting include a cementful variant for Artful, as well as milestone-based variants for characters such as Blooded and Pretty Princess. Another benefit is that variants could solve a problem involving legacy skins. Rather than taking up separate inventory slots, legacy versions could function as alternate styles for current milestone skins. This would help keep inventories cleaner while also allowing older designs to remain available in some form without causing frustration among players who had the legacy ones but were removed. There are already plenty of concepts that could work perfectly with this system. Some players have suggested things like a Telemon variant for Shedletsky milestones, even though Telemon already exists as its own skin. Others have focused on expanding LMS portraits. We have already seen community-made examples such as Yaorinidia Anoli and Yaorinidia 007 showing how different portraits and visual effects could completely change the feel of a skin. What makes this idea even more appealing is that much of the design work has already been done by the community. There are countless high-quality concepts, portraits, and variant ideas that Forsaken could potentially use instead of putting more effort into making a brand new skin. Would you want to see skin variants added to Forsaken? There is one survivor in Forsaken that many players feel doesn't get enough attention, and that survivor is Dussaker. While Dussaker does have milestone skins, they haven't really received any major updates since they were first released. Most of the progression simply changes his clothing without introducing anything drastically different between milestones. Because of that, many players feel that grinding for them isn't nearly as exciting as it could be. Recently, Spilled Gravy created a brand new set of milestone skin concepts showing what a full redesign could look like, and many players have been impressed with the amount of progression each milestone offers. The first milestone takes inspiration from one of Dussaker's older sunflower-themed shirts, creating a simple but recognizable starting point. The second milestone takes a much more interesting direction with a pirate theme. Some players believe this could also be a reference to Shedletsky, as both characters are administrators. The design highlights their friendship while also adding a scar across Dussaker's eye, making him look much more battle-worn. Moving on to Milestone 3, the concept takes inspiration from Dussaker's wizard hat and moon shirt. In this version, one of his horns actually pierces through his eye, while a large wizard robe completely changes his design. This makes the progression feel much more noticeable compared to simply swapping clothing pieces. Milestone 4 is easily the most controversial of the concepts. Instead of keeping Dussaker's iconic pumpkin head, the design completely replaces it with a glowing light bulb head surrounded by flames. His horns float around his head, and he gains large wings and a cape, giving him a much more similar appearance to Milestone for Guest 1337, but completely different to what we usually see. Players seem to love the progression shown throughout these concepts, although many are still hoping the pumpkin head remains part of the final design. One thing that many players have completely forgotten about is a feature that was teased well over a year ago, but never actually made it into Forsaken. The feature was a betting system that would allow spectators to place baits on either the survivors or the killer while watching a match. The idea was simple. If you believed a survivor was going to clutch the round or a killer was going to dominate, you could place a bet and potentially earn extra in-game money if your prediction was correct. Alongside this system, there were also concepts for an upgraded spectating mode just for this feature, as it will include different camera angles similar to security cameras and even a night vision toggle that would let you watch the round from a completely different perspective. So Forsaken could eventually add these into the game. Should most of these come to the game, subscribe and hit the bell for more Forsakening it.